AVANT get themselves a 16 and 10 on Order's map of choice, which was Inferno, and it was a very lackluster CT side from Order that really seemed like it was what let them down, but there was also times where they didn't really manage to get enough done on the first half as well. So we talk about this as a holistic thing, Kevin, and you didn't seem to be particularly impressed by what you saw there on Inferno.
No, absolutely not. I mean, I felt like on the T side when it was about the 8 or 9 round mark, okay, AVANT start adapting a little bit. This is the part where you have to think ahead and try to counter-adapt. You have to really get into your mind of your opponents, knowing that AVANT love to play around, love to try to figure out what you're doing. You need to get ahead, but we've seen that once again that failure to adapt. And when it came to the CT side, the lack of firepower became ever so clear, all right? Istillo just not firing. 9 kills and 16 deaths. He's really one of the linchpins that needs to succeed right now for Order. We're not seeing that. And the B bomb site, look, I already said it was already going to be weak due to the fact that Jara has been struggling recently in form against some of these stronger opponents, and that's continued once again.
Yeah, Pilsky, you were obviously sitting out the back there having a bit of a watch, I'm sure. What's your takeaway from that map? Is there something wrong in the Order world?
I just feel like a bit of a broken record because I feel like it's come down a lot to the inconsistent individual players on Order. To be fair though, I think AVANT are actually playing quite a good series on the T side so far. Both teams really are playing great T sides. It's just that it feels like Order's a little bit more inconsistent than their opponent, and that's what's really letting them down in this series. I mean, both of them are playing a good series from half to half. It's just that, again, like I said, it's a little less consistent from Order, and they seem to be making a few more mistakes than their opponent.
Yeah, let's talk a little bit about Sterling. You know, he's a player that we've seen a lot from here in the last couple of days of DreamHack. We've spoken about Sterling a lot. He's been very consistent for AVANT, and yeah, not a bad map for him there either on Inferno.
Yeah, absolutely. He was able to get a lot of work done towards the end of the CT side with the AWP. And even just picking up the rifle on the T side, he was able to win so many clutches, just do damage to the CT economy as well when they're on the T side. I don't know. It's just like you can look at the rating and go, he's got 1.26, but it's actually just all impact from him.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, Sterling's a super solid player. I kind of feel like it's maybe a little bit redundant in that map to be highlighting an individual, because for me it kind of seemed like it was really all across the board for AVANT. You know, I think if I was to actually talk about anyone, I'd kind of want to talk about APOC and Offnu. They seemed like the dynamic duo that we always like to sort of allude to them as on the CT side in particular, the way that they were sort of with like, I don't know whether it was like controlled aggression or just aggression in general, but the way that they were kind of controlling that CT side was quite impressive.
Yeah, you see them do that quite often. You know, it's an underrated aspect that they have so much experience between them that they really know how to shut down some of these executes that you see time and time again. You see evidence of that in their game against Renegades, where you watch APOC and Offnu sort of try and shut down that short push by pushing into it rather than falling back.
Yeah, exactly. Great to see from APOC and Offnu. We're going to hope to see good stuff from them as we head into Nuke fairly shortly. We'll take a quick break. Don't go too far though, because map 3 is coming up.
Party and we are gonna take it up. Wanna go for a ride? na 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 na. Feel that feeling, na 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 na. Feel that feeling, na 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 na. It's burning up, and we don't stop. Do you feel that feeling? Feel that feeling, na 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 na. Feel that feeling, na 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 na. Feel that feeling, na 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 na. Catch a bad vibe when you're in my. Some might play, but I don't wanna rush and make mistakes. And she don't care about the money, she don't wanna be a star. She just gives me good loving, yeah. So I keep her in my heart, yeah. Cause if we keep it in the moment, yeah, hope you never go too far. If there's one thing I know, we can move slow, and we can run down the clock. Baby, I got time, eh, 24 hours for you, eh, and you're on my mind like all the time, yeah. I got 24 hours for you.
Well, here we go into map number 3. It is Nuke, and it is the third map between AVANT and Order. Now, we've seen these two teams play against each other on Nuke in recent times, and it did go the way of AVANT, so I'm not so sure how Order is going to be feeling going into this. Having said that, we look at the scoreline there, we look at the statistics, 75% coming up there for Order. What are your thoughts on this one, Pilsky? Is it going the way of Order, or is it going the way of AVANT?
It's got nothing to do with the map at this point.
Sure,
that's my
I agree,
view on
actually.
it. Yeah, like I think both of these teams can competently play Nuke to a reasonable degree. I think the interesting fact is that the T side has been the stronger of the two for both of these squads. So heading into a map like Nuke, it's a map where if you are competent on the T side, you can take over the game and you can hit some pretty niche timings and actually make it look strong. But if things don't go well for you, the CT side economy gets rolling, you can find yourself pretty quickly at a deficit, actually.
Yeah, the odds shifting backwards and forwards, really going into that last map. We did see Order quite heavily advantaged. Now, Kev, I asked you this at the start of the second map about your prediction, how you were feeling after seeing AVANT go down in map number 1. Now you've seen them come back into map 2. You're going to be the one departing us for this third and final map, but where are you sitting?
Look, I predicted actually 2-1 at the end of the day, so I'll put it that way. All I'm really excited for right now, it's all down to this Rams fight. You've got APOC and Ricky, a lot of experience, a lot of aim ability between both of them. Sterling, is he going to be able to continue carrying the form over? How are both sides going to go on that CT side? As you guys have identified, the T side's looking great.
Yeah,
no problems at all.
That's a very good point, actually. Yeah. I mean, we're going to have to keep an eye on the CT sides here in particular. We'll wait and see who ends up winning this knife round. But look, Pilsky, I almost feel like at this point, if you're either of these teams, you win that pistol round, you're taking T side.
Oh, if you win the knife round, you mean?
Yeah, if you win the knife, sorry, not the pistol.
Oh. It depends on your mentality, right? Because at the end of the day, it's the same sort of thing as you saying, oh, Renegade should start on the T side of Dust 2. Sometimes you do start on the less favoured side so that you're able to switch over and, you know, you just get the most you can done in the first half and then switch over to the stronger side and close out the game there.
Oh, well, here we go into the third and final map between Order and AVANT. The odds about as even as they can be, slightly favouring AVANT. But it'll be Order to start on the CT side. So, Alistair has himself a smoke. The rest have gone for armor. Bit of utility here for AVANT as well, similar to what we saw on their T-pistol of Inferno.
Oh, it's a quick one straight into the upper bomb site. You see Alistair tapping away some heads from Heaven, and there's a big gap in the Annex smoke. Even though they have cleaned the site, it is favourable trades for Order.
Very, very crazy start to the map, and Alistair might be the one to swing it back in the favour of Order here, although it's already a numbers advantage for them, particularly with Blitz going down to Gyra. Poor old Sterling is going to have to stand and face the player in Annex, and that gives Alistair a free kill in the back.
Very nice. It's a good start for Order. Exactly what they're looking for. They're rolling on that CT side and make the most out of it because, you know, we're expecting them to be totally fine on that T side. Especially if some of the individuals start to get a little bit warmed up, get in a bit of the mood, then if they're feeling confident and you have the economy behind you, you might be feeling like you want to go for a bit of a push, but that's exactly what AVANT's doing, straight into ramp. Trying to hunt down Ricky, who's actually standing his ground.
Well, there's a reason for that. A double kill with the FAMAS. He's got the backup of Alistair as well. And that is way too good. We talk about the CT side being a bit problematic for both of these two teams, and there's no hint of that for Order.
Where did AVANT go? Bit of a magic trick, just evaporated into thin air.
They're trying something avant-garde, Pilski. It's called losing on the T side.
Oh, you think you're so funny with your big words.
Look, mate, I studied film. I know what avant-garde means.
Very cool.
I know. It's probably the only thing that was useful actually out of that degree.
That's not true. You had some good suggestions of how to imitate sponsor products and things of that nature. Good ideas for some camera angles to better capture your exceptional jawline.
Oh, sure, for sure. All right, well, either way, AVANT going to be dealing with just the pistols in this round, so they'll try something a little bit tricky on outer, as is keeping Order interested by playing with the squeaky door.
Yeah. I mean, the only thing that I can think of really is like a puppy playing with a squeaky toy. But I don't know, that's not really a compliment.
A puppy doesn't turn around and shoot you with a Tech 9, Pilski, so there is one difference there.
But, I mean, old Tech 9, I reckon a puppy could operate that. It was so overpowered. Either way, though, Order survived with 3 players, so they're feeling pretty good. Good anti-force, only lose 2 players to the pistols there across a couple of rounds. You've got a little bit of cash to fall back on. And this is where you're going to feel a little bit more confident about going for a more aggressive play in the first couple of gun rounds if you have the economy to fall back on. That's just unfortunate. You see absolutely nothing if you're Alistair. His inquisitive nature has got the best of him. Sterling's just holding that angle, and now you see it's utility. It's the wall of smokes across the left side.
Ooh, Gyra comes very close to losing his head there as well.
Yeah, I mean, he has to, really. When they're down in this 4-on-5 situation, AVANT's holding all the cards. You got to try and make something happen, Jordan.
Flash is getting thrown on into the A bomb site. Valiant's definitely under a bit of pressure there. Ricky going walkabout has been picked off by Blitz, who now controls Warehouse, and that's about the worst position that Order could have let him have. You can see the results of it. He still goes down, and AVANT backpedal away from the A bomb site. They're headed towards B. Not a whole lot that Order can do from here. They've just lost 3 picks in a row, and the round's over.
I mean, that was a bit reminiscent of some of those rounds we saw on Inferno, which gives me a little bit of worry, honestly, Jordan.
Yep.
Something else that I noticed, well, not really me, I won't take full credit, but God Observer MC was talking about when we like to have a bit of a yarn while the game's happening, if I'm on my break, and he was saying Order constantly lose guns towards the late round, exactly like it happened there. Gyro lost his weapon, and it really actually hamstrings their economy going forward. Happened a lot on Inferno, and there's another instance of it. You're looking at the cash on someone like Ustillo or Gyra. Holding on to that extra gun might be the difference between them getting good utility, maybe an extra AWP, something along those lines.
Very true.
Especially if you're not getting any exits going for plays like that. It's, you know, there's really just only negatives across the board.
Well, only negatives for Order. Certainly a lot of positives for AVANT out of that round. They take 5 guns through. They get their first on the board. They lower Order's economy. And they're off to a pretty decent start here, AVANT. So keeping a bit of that momentum through from Inferno. Now, there might not end up being a reinvestment here from Order.
No, a little bit too broke to do so. No loss bonus. Built up this early on in the game. So they're just going to save around that single M4.
Good start for APOC. He's under a fair bit of pressure here. Dives up the ladder. Nice movement.
Oh.
That's sick from APOC. Ends up dying in the end to Valiance, but
He's
overall...
like styling on them. It's like doing a bit of a breakdance in the lobby or something there.
Yeah.
It's like one of those Street Fighter characters or something.
Choose your character. No harm done really for AVANT here. Yeah, losing APOC, but he'll take losing one gun on the T side. He still is on a bit of an adventure now to try and maybe retrieve the weapon that was lost.
To be fair, when he saw that many of his dead friends, he probably should have just turned around and went the other way, but
Yeah.
ill-advised.
Might have
Often
worked out
takes him
better.
out. Yeah. Great moves.
Love it.
Alright, well.
Double AWP.
It's a lot, yeah, double AWP. It's a lot of money for AVANT though.
It is. And not a lot for Order. So they've really thrown everything into this round. All the eggs in this basket. Gyra gives Sterling the opportunity. But the click is not quick enough.
Alistair's going straight through old Secret. But Haz has actually picked Ricky, who had an AWP towards that ramp area. Alistair's going to trade one back going up Secret.
AVANT do seem quite confident on this T side, though. You just look at how far Haz has been able to get into the B bomb site, how far Blitz has been able to get through Outer. They're not really afraid of Order at all at the moment.
Why would you be? You've had so much success all day on this T side. And it's all up to the individuals just making reads, finding gaps in the defense.
That's what APOC's doing right now. Haz has gone down.
Yeah, that's towards low up.
Timing here for Gyra is going to be quite critical. Molly forces him away, gives away his position as well because he takes a tick from it. Sterling's going to get the bomb plant down on A. So it's on to APOC and Sterling to win this 2-on-3. Alice's head has been spotted. And he's playing peekaboo. Surely that's never going to hit.
That's cheeky. Oh, you love to see it.
But he's kind of keeping APOC busy because he's watching Gyro at the moment. Valiant's also creeping in from Annex. Now APOC takes the challenge. Alistair falls as well. And, well, Gyro finally gives away his position, but it is straight into the headshot of APOC. And that's 3 apiece now for AVANT. A critical round lost for Order. And I'd say AVANT are going to be off to the races now on the T side.
Just the fact that they're not able to complete that 3-on-2 retake. And with how flat the last gun round looked, I'm getting concerned for Order here. It feels like, I know the score's 3 apiece, but they're being put on a save round here. And it doesn't feel like there's a whole lot of fight back for Order. Just feels very flat, similar to some of the vibes I was getting on Inferno. And you know how I love the vibes, Jordan.
Oh, you're a big viber. I know that much. There's one thing I know about Pilski Casts on Twitter. It's that he is a viber. Alistair and Ustillo. Just the USBs in hand. Not much of a round here for Order, quite frankly. I'm surprised that AVANT haven't managed to get the bomb down yet, to be honest.
Maybe they don't care about the bomb.
Maybe that's true.
Okay, maybe they do. Well, Order's looking through to the next round to go for yet another bye. Double AWP was definitely lackluster for them and has been lackluster, I feel like, for both teams for most of the night. Both teams on the CT side have had very limited success with the double AWPs. Another round where AVANT keeps 5 alive.
Ooh. Very cheeky from Ustillo. He almost gets Hazza.
They've got like 10 grand, man. They're just going to be able to buy and buy and buy on this T side.
And that's what Order's figuring out right now as well. A tactical timeout comes through.
It's just such a grim state of affairs, Jordan, if you Order. Because you're so well aware, like, how many gun rounds do you have to win? Like four gun rounds or something like that in a row if you want to break that T economy. By that point, they've got loss bonus built up like crazy. You're all taking losses left and right. Maybe they take a single save with a handful of deagles and then they just buy again anyway. So it's like there's no easy rounds going forward here for Order.
Nope.
It's just a constantly on struggle street. And look, when they went up 3-0, they had their opportunity to establish a strong lead and avoid this situation, but that opportunity is well and truly come and gone. So they're going to have to do this on hard mode.
Ricky coupling a couple of bullets. Hazard is spotted. I think he's in trouble now. And ramp room again, taken control of by AVANT. Blitz is going to round the corner right into Alistair's crosshair though. That'll slow things down a little bit for AVANT, as they now have to make sure that they don't walk into Alistair's AWP on B. Smokes go down on Decon. The spam through, not quite connecting onto Sterling, but was pretty close. This is nice and steady from AVANT though.
Yep, smoking off the main threats. Throwing some Molotovs into window room and getting that bomb down so that they can set up this post plant between Megaton. Jara needs to try to clear out some of these Ts from Megaton. Good job so far, applying pressure while Order comes through windows, but Ofnu's just cleaned out that whole arm of the push, and it's all on Alistair, and he's just going to get cleaned up by Sterling as well. Not even close. For every kill that Order gets, they lose 2 players.
Back into that same problem for Order. No money. AVANT starting to run away with the half, and it just seems like Order don't have that magic.
There's no CT retake potential. It wasn't there on Inferno either. Every time they wanted to go for a retake, AVANT just dealt with it pretty easily, it felt like. Even when they were at man advantages.
Jara's gotten 1 with the 5-7, but that's not going to last too long. And Blitz not able to finish off Ustillo, so maybe there's something still in this one for the CT side of Order. Slowly whittling down their opponents. Ustillo gets the timing wrong though, and Hazard will get a free one. Which is going to prompt the push from Ricky.
Couple of rounds now that AVANT's taken ramp room from Ricky. Definitely cannot afford to be a liability over in that part of the map.
Alistair gets himself another kill, 11 and 6 for him. So definitely standing head and shoulders above the rest on Order.
Straight into another double AWP, I suppose.
Quicker play this time from AVANT, and they're going to try and get the better of Order that way. And it doesn't really seem like whichever way AVANT operates on this T side.
As that round lasted 10 seconds, Jordan.
Good round's a quick round, that's my opinion.
If you're a AVANT fan.
Getting a little bit hungry, looking for a sandwich.
What do you have on your sandwiches today?
Lettuce, cucumber, cheese, ham, mayonnaise.
Buttered
Butter.
bread?
Buttered bread.
Oh, you gotta have the buttered bread.
Both pieces of bread are buttered.
Bit of salt and pep.
Negative, sir.
No salt and pep.
The mayo is enough for me.
That's fair enough.
But I have run out of ham as of today, so I'm not sure what I will be eating for tomorrow.
Do you eat sandwiches every day?
Well, most days when I'm on a broadcast like this and I have to pack some food to bring. This is well, it could have been worse. Could have been worse.
Yep.
I was going to say it's going to be a bit rough for Order if they lose all those guns. Even losing 1 is not ideal, of course. They have enough money to buy into this round with those 2 guns saved.
Yeah, but if Ricky's not really getting anything done with an AWP or a rifle, I'm not keen watching him try to hold ramp room with the FAMAS.
7 in a row. Can't be complaining about that if you are an AVANT fan.
Order, it's just a couple of players lagging behind the rest of them. And, you know, sure, we're only 10 rounds into this game. There's time for them to turn it around, but it's a question of if, right? Because AVANT, it's a similar thing that we've seen on every T side against Order's CT side. Train, which Order won on their T side. Inferno, and now here on Nuke, it's the same thing. AVANT has just been steamrolling on the T side every single time. And Order, you know, some of the players are having decent performances and being able to put up with it, but the majority are not. That has been a common trend every single map. So it needs to stop here, or Order's going to have to be relying on, again, another incredible comeback on their T side
This
to
is
have
bold.
any chance.
AVANT are just walking out up.
Yeah.
Smokes are there onto Heaven and to kind of obscure Order's vision of Outer. They've made it work again. AVANT are just looking way too clean right now on the T side here. It's not even a contest. And every time someone pokes their head up, tries to take a challenge, it's chopped off.
Unless it's Alistair.
Unless it's Alistair. 12 and 6. Flash right in his face. He'll get the incendiary down, which keeps AVANT at bay for the moment. But he's going to have to do something superhuman here to save the round for Order. And can't.
Yep. You'd need superpowers to see through a flash that good. And it's all on Ricky. Hasn't seen a single soul this round. Maybe it's for the best. Because the way AVANT's playing right now...
He won't last long if he sees someone.
No.
Suppose Ricky really wants to upgrade this from us.
Go try and find that AWP near Annex, perhaps? No, he just walks back towards ramp room side. I guess he's heard some footsteps.
Won't get the chance yet. Might be able to get a kill, but not the gun. No time. Anyway, that's an 8th for AVANT. Nice entry from Offnoon. Both of these actually very good entries. Haz is looking sharp as well.
Look, it kind of goes against everything that I think usually about, you know, how maps work and inherent side bias, but with the way that this series is going, I feel like if I'm Order, I'm just like, man, can we just try and get 5 rounds on CT or something like that, and then maybe T side we can give it a go. That's a good start for him though. A 2-man advantage. Usually that's in favour of AVANT this time around. Not going to be the case.
Much better stuff. Offnoon, however, is a man on a mission. He's looking to get some trades. He really doesn't want to let Ricky get out of here, but Ricky's managed to slink back away into the B-bomb site.
Ramp room in favour of AVANT, as well as one player towards the back of lobby, but that's all about they've got going for them. Are going to make their way down Megaton in towards lowers, and Ricky doesn't actually have any support here.
Oh dear.
If he goes down quickly and AVANT get themselves in good positions, never mind. Alistair rotating down smartly through decon, trying to provide some support to him. He's burning alive.
How does he get out of there for the small time that he does? Oh, Alistair, good shot. Doesn't manage to follow up there with the third. It was actually the second that killed Offnoon there. Hazard, surely not.
No, flanked out by Jira, who's also having a pretty decent game after a lackluster one. So starting to lift. Those are the kind of rounds that Order need. Just try to scrape a few away on the CT side. I know that they didn't have that many guns left.
Alive.
Look at this shot. That actually connects, by the way.
Yeah.
And then he hits that flick. Incredible.
Well, a better round for AVANT, or rather for Order, that's for sure. Not so great for AVANT. This time the aggression from Order, a little bit of something, finally.
Yes, this is what they need. This is what you want them to wake up. You want them to get into this series. Don't just roll over and let AVANT run at them on the T side. Oh my god, Alistair. He's had enough, Jordan.
Well, yeah, I mean, the thing is, though, like, even if Order wins the half out from here, it's still only 7 on the CT side.
Yeah, but, you know, their T sides have looked better than their CT. That's what I'm telling you. I'm telling you, I don't think it's a nuke thing anymore, Jordan. I think it's just try to get the best you can out of your CT side if you Order, because it's clearly been fundamentally flawed today.
Sure.
But the T sides, that's a different story.
Could still be a costly round here. Blitz's head has been spotted by Ustillo, though, and that'll be a free kill. Just Sterling. 40 seconds on the clock. Does not possess control of the bomb. That's well and truly in Order's hands. So he'll offer himself down a smoke to try and work with. But there is a hole in it. Alistair just gets a bit of a peek. Here's the noise at the very least. The shot connecting from Ustillo will be
through the wall, no less.
For Order.
through the wall and the smoke. Very nice. Ah, 2 more left to play. Order's got a bit of money in the back pocket, but not really enough to put together a super solid buy if they lose this round. It's back into the double orbs. Avant, plenty of cash. No economic issues whatsoever. Wall of smokes are going to be committed to. Bunch of players looking to make their way down into lower. That is a nice shot from Alistair. This man does not miss.
That's the kind of thing that we're looking for from Order. That's the kind of magic that they have really been lacking in this first half up to probably 2 rounds ago.
And here is where Ricky needs to stand tall for Order. He's the only player towards lowers here.
It's a solid line for him though with the AWP.
That's it.
You can't hope for much better than a collateral. That is certainly standing tall indeed.
Beautiful. It's exactly what you want to be seeing in that position from Ricky. He's had his troubles towards ramp room. But he's picking it back up right when Order need to claw a few critical rounds away towards the end of the half.
Doesn't look like APOC is going to be able to get too much done here, but maybe allowed a bomb plant. Depends how quick Ricky is to get back down on to the B site. Jara also rotating in from Megaton. Smoke's in there, so now APOC's taking a little bit too much time, but he'll try and get rid of a couple of these guns, see what he can do. Jumps up into the vent, but it's a massive crossfire. Not too much you can really get done there. 8-6.
5 alive. AK's retained as well.
Yeah,
Still on that double AWP. It's a good outcome there for Order.
Order's definitely salvaging things.
And if some of these key players are starting to frag up a little bit towards the end of the CT side, like Ricky, like Ustillo, maybe they roll into that T-pistol and get a 2 to 3k or something like that. That's the kind of thing that gets your confidence back again after a slow start to a game.
17-7 for Alistair. He, again, leads from the front. 1 round left in the half here. Could still be a 9-6. Avant have been left wanting a little bit lately. Have attack balls coming out. Wonder what we'll get from them in the final round of the half. Will it be a quicker play in toward A?
Looks like early wall of smoke on outside. Are actually going to use them. Some pressure, some spam through door. Oh, it's actually the Heaven smokes, rather, and the warehouse, but they're just going to dry cross. Just one flash over the top doesn't really blind anybody, and that's a 2-for-1 in favor of Order, who seem ready for that. Meanwhile, creeping outdoor, trying to hit this timing again. It's APOC and Offnu.
Valiance, if he gets this wrong, that's the A side opened up, but very crisp shot from Valiance. Reminiscent of the shots that he was able to hit on Inferno. Looks like it'll be another round on the board for Order. 8-7. Who knows whether or not that is enough. The second half here is going to be an absolute belter between Avant and Order. Valiance should get one more here. In fact, he might be able to clean it up himself. Sterling trades down. Alistair is the AWPers going up against each other. Sterling waits and peeks with the Deagle.
Surely he can't. Oh, he's still lucky to get away with his life there.
Very lucky indeed, and now Sterling has not a whole lot of time to decide what he wants to do.
Gonna try and get a bit sneaky, see if he can catch anybody who's wrapped back through ramp towards ladder base, maybe in Heaven. Oh, messes up the jump. It's not gonna matter. He's looking for Ricky, who would have rotated off ramp, but he went lobby side. So,
well, they've heard the drop now, so Order are 100% sure that the bomb plant is going down on A. That is why the grenade rings true past Sterling's head. He'll throw his own back, but doesn't connect onto Ustillo or Ricky. Now hiding in the smoke. And how high of percentage play is this one, I wonder? Order aren't giving him anything. They're just going to wait for that smoke to fade, wait for the aggression from Sterling, and it ends up being another round in a row for Order. So a very good comeback. in the first half here. 8-7 is the scoreline, and as even as it can be heading into the halftime break, and that's exactly where we're going. But second half here between Order and AVANT is going to be a good one.
Make it ooze with the unthinkable. Don't stop till you come first. Life too unpredictable. Take control of what you're worth. Wasting time's forgivable, but nobody wants to grow. It's time for the original to come and break through, 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 come and break through. Take a race, don't hold back. Get yourself back on track. Keep on moving, don't stop.
Here we go into the final half between AVANT and Order, and this one is shaping up nicely. 8-7 is the scoreline. The odds having shifted heavily back in the way of AVANT, but who's to say Order can't make a comeback on the T side of Nuke? Their T sides have been pretty good so far today.
Well, 5 sets of armor, and they're just going to brawl straight out ramp,
Look at
right
that.
into Blitz, and take out APOC as well on the elbow. And AVANT trying to navigate a 3-on-5. Sterling can't do anything with 5 players
Wow.
running at him. There's not even a single bit of offense being put off from AVANT.
Yeah, Valiant's is, I was going to say, liable to finish Ofnu off here. 1-on-5 for Ofnu. It's started off okay, but now that his position is known, I dare say Order are going to look to try and finish him off pretty quickly. Bomb plant goes down. Ofnu goes down. 8 apiece. Order win the pistol on the T side, and we're right back to square one. We're right back to that exact same situation that we've seen so many times in this matchup, where the T side wins the pistol. CT side economy is absolutely cooked.
Yeah, but here's where they're going to force buy up. And AVANT win these a reasonable amount of the time. Not too bad of a shout to go for a force buy on CT side of Nuke. Plenty of choke points and close angles where you can get away with the pistols. Sneaky positions. One way to deal with those kind of close angles, though, is just to go to the widest part of the map,
Yeah,
towards
Gyro.
outer.
He did this a lot on Inferno. He was the sole player that sort of ran in towards the B bomb site again.
He's just money manning it, looking for info, seeing if he can find any players, and as soon as he's relayed the information over to Order, I mean, especially as he's the RGL, just tell the rest of the boys to come join up with him.
Still left on outer, waiting for a rotation maybe from Avant. APOC is on the B bomb site, so is Offnu. So it's that dynamic duo that we talked about on the CT side of Inferno that have found themselves down here on B. Interesting to see how this one ends up panning out. If APOC actually does hit an opener. Alistair's waiting with a Galil though, and will shut down any thoughts of that. Pretty quick smart. Order are being very methodical, very slow in this anti-eco. Much different to what we saw in the pistol round. They're running around like a bull at a gate.
Taking full control of our lowers now. Ricky, unfortunately, I feel like as a side effect of how long he's just been sitting with lobby with nothing happening, loses his focus for a second and gets his head snapped off.
Happens. It's a Galil that's dropped over to Blitz. So not an amazing prize for Avant, and not a major loss for Order. Order's going to give themselves the advantage. It's been a while since we saw Order win a series against Avant. That wasn't a best of one.
And this would be the way to do it. I mean, one of the narratives that we had in some of the previous seasons of ANZ Champs, back when we were able to run the actual lands, is the fact that Order might be, especially with all the veterans that they have, pinned as the team who might play a little bit better under pressure. And this is the pressure match. This is the difference between a couple grand and a hell of a lot more Pro Tour points and another shot at Renegades, who
definitely.
both of these teams have definitely had a shot at, had their different turns at testing them. Avant taking a map the other day and front running in one of the other maps, and Order almost beating them in Road to Rio. They've both shown that they're capable of taking it to them. So I'd say that both of them really want the opportunity to try to go for it again.
Jaira, he once again just runs down Secret. Oh!
That's one way to do it.
Blitz won't be too happy about that.
Yeah, look, Galil's such a garbage weapon that maybe it's fine if it's only the Deagle's alive. Might have a better chance of actually hitting some heads and getting some kills, but unfortunately it doesn't look like it in this round.
Apoc's managed to grab himself one, and Nuke comes in on an angle that Jaira wasn't watching. So a couple of guns go down here for Order, but again, nothing too concerning because they'll just run straight up into the A bomb site. Bomb plan's going to go down, as long as they can take the AK through in Valiance's hands. Maybe that Galil as well. I think Order will be pretty happy with how the round has panned out and how the previous few rounds have panned out then in that case, right? They go up 10-8 on T side of Nuke. I'd say like almost 80 to 85% of their rounds have come on the T side so far in this series. So I almost feel like this is Order's game to lose again. I don't know, maybe that's a little bit too early to call, right? We have to see the first gun round from Avant, I guess, before we sort of make statements like that.
Yeah. I mean, actually interesting that Jar actually saw his feet through the side of the smoke there, potentially.
Yeah, I think so.
But essentially we've been conditioned to think this way over the course of this series, really.
It's like, you know, when you're playing a CT side, right? And the Ts keep doing the same thing over and over and over again. You're like, surely they're going to go A again. They've hit A 14 rounds in a row, and bam, they're over towards B. Now we're being conditioned to think about the meta, I guess, of this series.
T-sides have been stronger.
Avant
It's a
could throw
fact.
curveball. I would like to count the T-sides.
MC's been doing it. I don't know if he's kept count.
I'm going to do the math. Maths on stream, never a good idea, but since
If you're not commentating and you just let me solo cast, then maybe you have a chance of doing it.
Absolute math god, I'm sure I'll be able to.
Quick one straight out of door though. It's Valiance just to drop into the vent. Not sure he actually made it down though, and he's almost lost his life. Finally makes it down with 19 HP. So, especially with no Avant players in lower at this point, except for APOC, who's now well and truly spotted that that door has been busted open. Actually very ballsy. All of Order just walked straight through that door smoke and exploded into this lower bomb site, and Valiance goes down, but he is traded back. So now Order full control on lowers, starting to take some duels with Avant, who are trying to scramble to get into position.
Alistair's creeping out on A as well, and Hazard's kind of just waiting here. So this should be a free kill for Hazard. But Gyra's still down on the B bomb site, which is where the bomb plant has happened. And he's got himself a 1-on-2. Opens the doors. So that does potentially give away his position. Up now into control room. It's be a rough one for Gyra. Bomb plant's out so far in the open, though. And Sterling just has to run through. Hazza dives away behind the smoke. He's got another one to play with. Can't smoke off the control window. And Gyra just has to now spam through. He's not even firing, Pilski.
Don't know if he had many bullets left there in the clip. And almost completing a 1v2 against two of his ex-teammates. But Hazza's got the goods this time and keeps AVANT in contention. I say that because obviously the CT side's been a little weaker, but not only that, you're looking at Order's money after getting off to a real good start in this half. They're going to have no problems reinvesting here, whereas AVANT, if they lose this round, they are very broke. Aggression from off Nuke coming up behind the majority of these Ts, but unfortunately it's with a FAMAS. We all know how that goes. Only a 1-for-1.
Some of the smoke down for Blitz, and that slows things for Order a little bit. Ricky's fallen on the other side of the map. While things slow down a little bit, I did the maths, Pilski. 53 rounds on the T side, 21 on the CT side. So not quite as one-sided as we thought.
What do you mean? That's really one-sided.
I mean, it is very one-sided.
That's crazy. That is insane.
It's not as one-sided, though. It's only 61%.
What did you expect? Like single digits? 20 rounds on the T side compared to like 50.
50 on the T side versus 21 on the CT side, yes.
That's crazy.
I said 80, 85%. It's actually 61% on the T side.
Yes.
Versus,
But that's more than double still.
It's pretty crazy.
Order trying to turn around this 2-on-4, and they're doing a great job of it. Now into a 2-on-2 where the CTs are very split up. Hazza's just trying to hide in the corner. CT Vent walks up behind the smoke here. Apoc creeping up the ladder into heaven, and it is a very good move at this point in the round because it looks like Order's got no time but to go for this upper bomb site.
Wouldn't be surprised to hit that entry from Valiance. It's actually Gyra, the second man in, that's going to get it done, and he gets the kill onto Hazza as well. 11-9. That is a costly round to lose for AVANT.
Oh, man. Was that all 4 from Gyra? I think it was. It was at least 3.
Tell you what it is, it's another round on the board for T-side scoreline. So might as well make that 54-21.
It's not only just that, though. That was a big round for AVANT to lose in terms of the mentality. You know you're up 4-on-2. That was your round for the taking to even up the scoreline and to potentially single reset Order and avoid eco yourselves. You've thrown that opportunity away. Now you're broke and have to give Order a 12th round if you can't win with pistols. That's really got to affect the mentality of AVANT.
They are an experienced squad. So tilt factor shouldn't necessarily be something that affects them too much. If you're going to play at the top level of competition, I think it's not something that can really be an excuse anymore.
Wishful thinking, Jordan. If Glaive can slam desks, then anyone could get tilted. That's all I'm saying.
Slamming desks is fine, but it's when it comes into the game and affects the gameplay. That's the difference. And I think AVANT generally are a team that's pretty good at playing from behind.
Well, they'll have to be.
And they were down 7-1 on Inferno. Came back into that one pretty okay. This is a different story, though. Let's be real.
A lot more pressure on this game.
Indeed.
It's for all the marbles. The whole point and the whole reason behind both of these squads' creation, I would say, is you want to be able to try to take that number 2 spot and have a go at beating Renegades. And that's what this game really is. One of these teams misses out on the opportunity and the chance to, I guess, kind of do what they were created for, right?
Fulfill their destiny. Would have been
I
the
didn't
better
want
way
to
of
say
saying
it. I did not want to say it, Jordan. That's way too cringe.
Oh, well, you're a bit of a cringe guy. I wonder if APOC can channel his inner Ustillo.
Oh, no.
Valiance helps out a little bit there, and actually, that's gone about as well for Avant as you could have hoped it would. APOC should be a free kill for Gyro, though, who certainly has been salvaging things. Ustillo! What's he looking at? Certainly not what's behind the vent. 9 seconds, has to get down onto the B bomb site. Bomb plant is necessary until it's not.
Oh, that was so tense.
Calm down.
Wasn't it
breath.
only? It was only in the game the other day where APOC was on the lower bomb site with just a pistol and won the round for Avant on this exact map. I'm sure of it because Kevin wouldn't shut up about it. He almost does it again. There you go, Kevin. There's more material for your desk segment. You're welcome. Either way, though, that's expensive for Order. Still a little bit of money left in the back pocket.
Oof, the game of the smokes here. Gyro and Offnoop.
Oh, it's disgusting, isn't it?
It's going to favour Gyro this time. Crouched down, hiding in the smoke, and Valiance gets an entry on the A bomb site. Might have had a chance for another one there as well, but the shots do go awry onto Sterling. By the way, Gyro has been an absolute menace here.
No kidding.
When you talk about the inconsistency of Order, and I think this is another example of it, right? It's like, well, today here on Nuke, Gyro is firing, and it's working well for Order.
Inconsistency doesn't necessarily mean bad.
No, that's my point. It's like, sometimes you don't frag, sometimes you do frag, and when you do, you have to take advantage of it. And that's what Order's doing right now. On the hunt, looking for a couple more of these guns to take out of Order's hands, but not going to get too much more of an opportunity there. Either way, this is 13 on the board for Order, and they're now striking distance away.
Yeah, they're on a little bit of a tear. They have been dropping guns right and left, though. In that last round, they lose 3 guns in this one. As long as they're continuing the streak of rounds, continuing this T-side dominance that we've seen in this series, I'd say Order are going to be feeling pretty comfortable with a 13-9 lead. As for Avant, it's good to see them hold on to these last 2 guns rather than throwing them away in the late round, as they can just purchase these pistols and armors and have a fair crack at winning a round like this anyway.
Gyro's making a bit of noise, and that is dangerous, knowing the position of APOC right now, but it's all a game of timing. Gyro gets the kill on the APOC before Sterling can save him. It literally is a game of timing. Half a second earlier there for Sterling, and APOC lives.
It's a 1-for-1. And Order charge straight out ramp room. With this ramp control, do you commit to lowers? Do you try to wrap through heaven, go back to lobby and pinch upper? Looks like it is going to be straight up towards ladder base. I don't think Haz is even ready for this.
No, Offnu though might have spotted a bit of the info and comms that over. Hazza now ready with a 5-7 in hand and a close angle to play with. Can there be some magic for Avant? No! It's Hazza that's shut down too, and he's eventually finished off by Ustillo, but hey, 2-on-1.
What a round from Hazza.
Not so easy.
That's actually incredible. Just the way that he is raw adjusting on a vertical angle while using his movement keys. That is not easy. That is literally thousands of hours of work being put into mechanics, all culminating in doing that much damage in a round like that.
Keeps Avant in the discussion, doesn't it? Order's running out of their tactical timeouts now as well. This is their last one. So if the going really gets tough, you know, if Avant for some reason gets 4 in a row here, it goes to 14-13, Order cannot call a tactical pause anymore.
Yeah,
they used so many in that first half.
Here's the thing though. All of those guns that Order were dropping in these previous rounds means that they have to take a save here rather than having a stable enough economy to go for a buy. No, they're actually going to force up into the Galils, which is interesting.
Gyro's got 6k.
I mean, down to the Galils, down to the Tech 9s, but it's not AKs and AWPs. That is just incredible with the 5-7, by the way. That's nuts. Either way, though, this is a more lackluster buy than Order would have had if they'd been more responsible with their economy, and that gives Avant an in here. A potential advantage in a gun round like this if they do win it. can put Order on that save that they're looking for and allow AVANT to actually close this round gap. Order throwing utility towards outer. It's a 1-4. The majority of the players towards this squeaky door, waiting for the right moment to bust out. Just biding their time.
Well, now is the time, it seems, but maybe it's not the perfect time. Blitz and Hazard, alongside Sterling, are having an easy time of farming up that attack onto the A-bomb site. Nothing really worth getting exciting about there for Order. 3 kills for Sterling, though.
It's a very one-dimensional kind of play, and particularly if you're, a little bit indecisive after a smoke comes down onto the door, you're second-guessing yourself. Makes the play not look great at all. Getting wiped, trying to sprint out the door. And that's 5 alive for AVANT. That's going to build their economy up. Which means, earlier on I was saying, man, Order's got so much money. They're off to such a good start. It's going to be so hard for AVANT. It's literally flip the script now.
Well, yes. But Order have time. That's the benefit that they've got. They've got 2 rounds here to play with to build the economy back up.
This is delivering.
Definitely much better than the upper bracket match we saw, which was AVANT's 2-0. Order have been putting in a lot of work in the last week. They've come prepared for the match here against AVANT, but I wonder if they do drop it at the 11th hour, giving someone like Sterling the time to kind of get into this game, to kind of feel his way into that AWP again. 5 kills in the last 2 rounds for Sterling. Kind of bad news, and that's why, he starts to hit shots like that.
They haven't even hit the ground yet. Order staring down another buy round where they can't have access to the full utility. May pigeonhole what kind of a strat you want to be going for a little bit more.
Huge round coming up here in number 26. Money's good for AVANT, so if they do lose it, they've got more to play with. But it just sets Order that extra little bit ahead, gives them that extra little bit of a leeway.
A lot of pressure on Lobby. Ricky is actually going to open up the accounting. Pick onto Hazard in towards upper. The re-aggress from Blitz does bear fruit though, and Sterling going to be getting even more aggressive towards door. They know that these smokes have been thrown from outside.
This is a great spot for Sterling to be playing in the way that he's been hitting shots. You back him to get 1, if not 2. Gyra's down early. Valiance somehow survives. I don't know how Sterling has missed that second shot, but it's given a chance over to Order. Blitz almost very nearly takes it away because Alistair and Ustillo lined up.
APOC and Ofnu, very good experienced players in the mid-round though, are exactly who you want alive for AVANT in a situation like this to play off of each other.
Alistair goes down early as well. It's onto Ustillo. 1 on 2. Ofnu. He does land that final shot. I thought maybe Ustillo gets back around to safety. But no, Order will allow AVANT up to 13-13. And things are now really starting to get interesting.
It's an expensive round for AVANT, but you're looking at the Order economy in a round like this and you're saying if they have a clean anti-eco here, then all of the damage done by Order in that last round isn't going to matter as much. But even now, their money is just so good. It's going to be so hard for Order to come back into this game. It's just going to have to be straight gun rounds from here on out. They get straight down lower. APOC has rotated in onto the site. He's going to hear these footsteps and call for assistance.
Yeah, he's got the info. So Ofnu comes and joins. This will be a good solid hold, one would say, but Ofnu kind of gets overwhelmed. Still, APOC in a good spot to just dance around and try and find some one-on-ones. Has to pull the USP out, but the USP is good enough against the head armorless Ustillo. And so Gyra finds himself on his own, and in reality, any damage that he does here is probably not going to matter too much.
Bought himself some armor, but he doesn't have an upgraded pistol. Interesting. Curious as to whether that's a bit of a misbuy or not. I think the last person that you want lacking utility in a critical gun round is the in-game leader. But he's going to have 4.9, enough loss bonus for it not to really matter anyway. Alright. Avant, enough money to really buy out almost the rest of the half. Maybe lack one extra gun, or someone will have to go down to a FAMAS or an MP9 if they lose 2 in a row, but that's about it.
Bit of a change up here from Order. They're going to go quickly into A. In fact, no, it's a vent drop for Gyra. So the result is the same for Gyra. He's down into B. Alistair's got that pick onto Sterling as well, which is quite big. And APOC has managed to get the info, has spotted out Gyra, who just backs away. More interested in surviving and keeping that map control. Offnu now lurks his way into Elbow, into Z connector. Gyra does fall to APOC, so it's that push and pull of this game right now. Back to a 4-on-4.
Order trying to establish control off lower. A bit of a misthrown smoke there is going to make them feel a little less comfortable as Avant go dropping down the vent. Multiple players walking towards Windows side as Ricky clears out Blitz in lobby. Order, they're stuck on the bomb site.
They're just milling around, aren't they? They're trying to look for any position that they can get to, but the one linchpin, the one X factor here is Ricky. If he gets the timing right, which he hasn't, Offnu's going to go and grab that kill from Megaton. He'll start to rotate now into the B site, but time is of the essence. Hazard looks to clear at Alistair, which he will be able to do, and they know where Ustillo is. Ustillo gets a double, but it does not matter. Avant are going to go to match point, and Order just can't hold on long enough.
That's the problem with that lower bomb site sometimes. If you don't have control of Windows or Decon, it's so hard to hold off the retake from the CTs if they have control of those critical areas. Some of the spots on that bomb site are just, especially in the 4-on-4s, the 3-on-3 retakes, maybe it's enough in a 2-on-2 to have that one player up on the catwalk and one in dark or something like that. But in the higher numbers, there's just so many angles you have to deal with. And there's only a few spots for the CTs to clear. Regardless, Order, it's fast wall of smokes on outside. They're going to cross straight into Secret. Surely Offnu can hear these footsteps. Maybe masked by the flashbang, but Sterling's in position.
You got to back Sterling in a spot like this. There goes the first. A peek as well onto the second. It's Alistair down. And Sterling now has the opportunity to win the map for Avant, but does not hold on to it.
Back into a 3-on-3. Ricky's found a great timing to creep out of Heart. Makes best of Offnu for last round when Offnu got the better timing.
Does he expect Hazard though on the off angle? No. Alex better of it. Goes straight back into lobby.
An Order with this man advantage. Just going to pump the brakes. Wait for the mistake to come out from Avant.
It's big. That's big from Hazard. Puts it back to the 2-on-2. Even numbers at least.
Both of the two teams staying very close together with the last remaining member of their team trying to trade down the numbers. What a time for a swing to close the map. A bit of an anticlimactic ending, but that's Avant taking it home. We'll be back right after this break with our analysis segment.
Flashbang's effective. They have got through the smoke wall here, but Chris J, he is the final boss of the bomb site.
Now Spitty and Chris J to keep Mousesports alive.
Oh, Chris! He's found 3. It's down to a 2-on-2. Chris, can he close this with an ace? Oh my God!
Can they actually close this out? Boom, Chris.
Fantastic way to start, and no scopes on him himself. Absolutely saving Mousesports.
Hey, it's me, Lily from AT&T. I'm back, working from home, and here to help.
Hey Lily, I'm hearing a lot about 5G. Should I be getting excited?
Depends. Are you going to want faster speeds?
I will.
More reliability?
Oh, also yes.
Better response times?
Definitely.
Are you going to be making sourdough bread?
Oh, is that 5G related?
No, it's just like, why is everyone making sourdough now? But yes, you're going to want 5G.
AT&T is building 5G on America's best network. Visit att.com to learn more.
Wasting time in God eternity. This is my time for change. I've been searching for something new. I'm making up a brand new start. 'Cause this ain't worth it. I'm making up a promise now. But let go of her. He's a gangster, yeah. He's a gangster, yeah. He's a gangster, yeah. He's a gangster, yeah. He sold his soul, it wasn't cheap. He spent it all on a one-way street. More, 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 oh, more, more, money is the game, power is the aim. City's gonna pay when they got nothing to lose. He's got nothing to lose.
Back-to-back victories for AVANT, not only in maps, Inferno and Nuke going their way, but in series against Order as they won in the upper bracket. They also win now here in the lower bracket final, which is going to be what has pushed AVANT through to a rematch against Renegades in the grand final tomorrow. A fantastic result for AVANT, of course, and for Order, a much better fought series here against AVANT in the lower bracket final, but unfortunately still not enough. Karath is going to be rejoining us here again on the desk. So, Kev, obviously you had a bit of a break and you've been watching that game back. Looks like your prediction's wrong, buddy. AVANT ends up coming away with the victory, but it was a very close thing in the end there.
Look, I'll put it this way. Remember what I said before map number 1 started? I said I cursed Order, so sorry,
You really
Order
did.
management. Look, all I'm saying is at the moment, if any team is going into a critical series and wants the other team to lose, I'm fairly certain you just tell Karath what side to predict, and I think it's like a bad voodoo doll, just stick it in. It's unfortunate. I think Order just lost that pretty much on that. I know this is a meme at this stage between us and the boys, but the round that has actually picked up with a 5-7, and the previous rounds where Avant were able to do so much damage with the pistols, those were the rounds that really won it for Nuke, like for Avant.
Yeah, absolutely. Have to agree with you. There's a few critical rounds there for Avant, and it kind of felt like they had to win multiple critical rounds over the course of the last 5 or 6 rounds of the map, but they were able to get them all pretty much, and it seemed like once Avant sort of flipped that switch, they were kind of unstoppable.
Yeah, they're in a pretty precarious position, I felt like, when Order started to get rolling on that T side. They were down like 13-9 or something. It felt like Order had quite a bit of money to be able to go through the rest of the game. But Avant just getting a couple of rounds in there where they were actually able to take some guns away from Order, make their economy mortal, gave them the space that they needed to actually get comfortable on that CT side. And then all of a sudden, that important round came through, and they were able to have the consistency that they needed to close out enough gun rounds to win the half from a deficit.
I tell you what, it's going to be good to hear from the horse's mouth. So we'll bring Hazza into the conversation, who is on the line, of course. Hazza from Avant. How are you going?
Pretty good, man. Pretty hyped.
Yeah, pretty big win for you guys. So, look, talk us through. I do want to talk to you about that one round with the 5-7. I'm sure you know the one where you're holding the A side of Nuke. What's going through your mind? Are you feeling like, oh, crap, I'm under a bit of pressure here with the 5-7? Or are you the kind of guy that's like, I can win this for the boys?
Oh yeah, the boys were just saying stay alive, and I was just swinging around trying to get kills.
Classic.
I somehow just think more.
Stay alive.
I've used 5-7 in a while.
Screw that. I'm going to win the round. Okay, let's talk about the mental side of things for you as well. I know you've got a sports psychologist. You guys have obviously been working through with that sort of aspect of your gameplay. Has that had much of an impact in, I guess, now what we would kind of consider the rise of Avant to at least the second place team in ANZ, obviously behind Renegades?
Yeah, it definitely helped bringing her along. We've figured out what we want best, like what our mentality is peak, like what our peak is that we want in a game. So yeah, it's made it way better during games, and yeah, helped a lot.
And has that helped you be able to bring back certain games from deficits? Like, you guys were behind like a couple of rounds against Order there, and the T sides were pretty dominant from both teams throughout the entire game. Like the difference between the amount of CT rounds and T rounds won throughout that whole series, it felt like both teams were just smashing on the T side. How do you guys turn around that CT side deficit? You're down like 13-9 or something.
Yeah, especially the first map, it felt like they completely read us when we switched sides. Like they came, because we versed them and beat them the other day. Yeah, we just made sure they don't have much on the other map, so we'll just reset and we'll try we'll just play like ourselves.
Yeah, I don't really have many questions, to be honest. I'm just more impressed by their form, honestly. The only thing I'd want to probably build on is the mental coaching of things, right? It's who do you think that's actually benefited the most on the team? Or is it just everyone's benefited tremendously from it?
I think it's helped a lot of people. I think it helps maybe Pete, Blitz, and me quite a lot. Yeah, it's been very helpful. Yeah.
I think it shows overall, because it's because before, when my concern coming into this was that you guys were very inconsistent and unable to really fight back. So now it's looking like you guys are able to take the comebacks without any problem. So
yeah.
Awesome. Well, it's been great to have a chat with you, Hazza. I hope you guys have a good game tomorrow against Renegades. All the best.
Yeah, thanks, guys.
Awesome indeed. Well, great performance from Avant, being able to get the victory over Order, where it really looked like things were slipping away. It really looked like Order was going to come back into that victory. But what does this now mean for the scene as a whole, Pilski? We've kind of seen a few times in a row now Avant being able to take that second spot. Surely there's no more discussion about top 3. It's surely Renegades, Avant, Order. There can't really be much of a discussion past that.
Yeah, I feel like it was kind of underrated. I think a big instance of that, I remember we were doing a podcast, and the person we were doing a podcast with didn't even consider Avant because they didn't play in Road to Rio. And I mean, in both of our minds, we were like, this is one of the biggest competitors to be able to actually take that second spot if they don't already have earned that. beating Order a couple of times, and now they've shown that they've been able to do it again. So I think it's deserved. I think there was an argument you could have made. I would have personally put them second beforehand anyway. But I expected Order to fight back a little bit more, but AVANT's just proved their incredible consistency.
I mean, look, let's be real. Order did fight back pretty well. They got that to 16-3 in the final map. It really looked like it could go their way as well. Just seems like there might be some sort of maybe mental blocker. I'm not sure what it is, Kevin, for Order, but they just can't seem to get the better of AVANT.
Yeah, I think it is a bit of a mental block at this stage. This is the frustrating part, right? Is because when it comes to the later rounds like this, you lose a critical round, it seems like you lose your cool, and then pretty much it all falls apart from there. I felt like towards the end of Nuke in particular, I don't know, it just didn't feel like the same Order in terms of the dominance of the executes and the strategies and the cohesion. It looked like a little bit more of a Hail Mary strategy, and they were just hoping to avoid Sterling some of the times. They didn't look as decisive, and that's the issue for me. When it comes to the crunch time, these guys seem to panic a little bit more. That's why they're number 3 in the region at the moment and not number 2.
Yeah, definitely. You can see here the bracket for Oceania. It now shows that Renegades and AVANT will be the 2 teams to play in that grand final. Certainly looking forward to that game, which will be coming up tomorrow. Now, Renegades do have a map advantage. I think, you know, Renegades are a team that could well be pushed by AVANT. We've seen them drop a map to Chiefs. We saw them drop a map to AVANT. Who's to say they can't drop a couple more here in the grand final? Definitely going to be a tough game for AVANT, though. But I do want to keep the discussion over on Order, because I believe we are setting up an interview here with Alistair. So we'll sort of just break down, I guess, what's been going on for Order there. I mean, they started off really, really well. They had that game going into Train where they were able to pick up the victory. Then they go into Inferno. And Kev, this is where you were sort of saying, like, it's a symptom of the same problem where Order get to a good lead and then they're not able to really keep a hold of that, and that seems like, you know, something that maybe they can work on in the next few weeks or so.
Yeah, absolutely. Look, this is going to be a case of hopefully it increases the hunger for the players in Order, and then that for the next month or 2 months or whenever until the next tournament, they don't get too complacent. They actually use this time to actually put in some serious effort, because you can't really make the excuse and go, oh, maybe there's only 1 or 2 tournaments, time to like kind of dial it back a little bit. No, this is the part where you actually need to light a fire now, because you've dropped consistent series against your rival, and you don't really have a claim of being number 2 inside Oceania anymore. And it's like not even close anymore, right? Well, actually, I shouldn't say not even close anymore. It's like the series could have gone.
I think it's still
close.
close.
It could have gone back to Order's way. Let's be realistic.
Yeah.
But I think overall, just in terms of the overall picture, they do look a little bit weaker.
I tell you what, let's get Alistair's opinion on whether or not he thinks it's close here between Order and AVANT. We do have Alistair on the line. How are you doing, Ali?
Yeah, good. Thanks, boys.
All right. I don't know if you heard the end of that conversation there, but what are your thoughts? Whether you guys feel like you're pretty close to AVANT, or what's going on in that sort of matchup between you guys?
I'd say it's pretty level right now. I definitely think it's just a straight out brawl every game with them, which we sort of expect. A lot of it just comes down to mid rounds basically, and I think as you can see on Nuke, a lot of it came down to 2v2s, 3v3s and stuff, and they just on their CT side we couldn't read exactly where they were rotating from, so they sort of just played the mid rounds really well.
Well, I would love to sort of highlight all of the good things that happened there. Like, you guys were up ahead on Nuke. That was a ridiculous comeback on Train. That's like the second time you guys have come back on Train from a 12-3 deficit. You guys did it against Chiefs as well, which is ridiculous. But what's going on with these CT sides, Ali? Because I'm noticing, sometimes it seems a little bit too easy for AVANT to just roll in there and get 2 picks, and that seemed to really get the best of you this series.
Yeah, it sort of did at the start of the CT half. We sort of clawed back a little bit, but I definitely think it felt like they were really on point tonight, to be fair. They were very sharp, and they were sort of just happy to take these duels, and they were confident, and it was working, so you can't blame them for it. But yeah, we sort of just figured it out towards the end, and not early enough.
Yeah, I mean, what to hear for now for you guys in Order, obviously out of DreamHack, unfortunately. What's next on the cards for you guys in terms of practice-wise? Like, are you going to be focusing more on your scrims, your theory, or what are you guys going to be focusing on?
I think a lot of it is our theory. Being based in Australia, scrimming is... I don't think it's as important as just making sure everyone's communication and strategy side is on point, because it's harder to get punished. And with tournaments coming up, we can't scrim, all the top teams like Renegades, AVANT, and Chiefs. So we sort of have to keep our cards close to our chest and just put our head down and work out a lot of theory, I think.
Yeah, hopefully it goes well for you boys. Thank you very much for the interview. As always, Alistair.
Thanks, guys.
Awesome. We'll catch up with Alistair later on, I'm sure, as well. That is the end, though, of the ANZ discussion for today. We start to look towards the Asian matches coming up, fellas. We've got Vici, we've got Beyond. Interesting that we've got Beyond. I don't know how we're going to sort of go about this one, but it certainly seems like it'll be a little bit more one-sided maybe than that Order and Avant match.
They've gone beyond our expectations, that's for sure. Look, I think this is going to be, yeah, as you said, very one-sided for, I think, Vici Gaming at the end of the day. Chinese teams just seem to have the handle on Thai teams all the time.
Indeed they do, and that's something that we are looking forward to, and I'm sure you are as well. So we'll head to a short break, let the teams get ready here. It's Vici and Beyond that will close the day for us.